Hi, everybody. I am Holly Celiano, and today is Friday, November 7th. So, I did a pre recorded show with Brent Johnson, which I thought would be a really good show to do. So, I'm going to play that recording. Instead of me speaking, he's asking me questions, and it's a good way of having a lot of the questions that you want answered. So, this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion, staying within YouTube regulations. So, I'm going to hit play, and you can listen to this recording.
Holly Celiano has been doing a great deal of work to keep people informed about the RV, the state of affairs in the news about financial changes and the evolution of everything that's happening around us concerning the global currency reset. I've asked her to join me this evening to give me a little bit of an update on what is happening with the RV, what is happening with any protocols that we can expect. Holly's information is the most credible that I know of. Holly, I want to welcome you to the show. Could you give us an overview of the entire situation?
Sure. Thank you for having me on. It's been a while, and hello, everybody. For those who have been in this long time, it is an exhausting journey, but it is one that will pay out eventually. And it's just really having the wherewithal to be able to withstand being in it long term till this happens. So where are we in the world? Well, I, on my shows, talk a lot about the financial, because the financial picture is really showing us laid out what exactly is happening. So basically, what we're seeing in the financial market is a merger of gold and digital assets. So we used to be on a strictly gold standard before Nixon took us off in 1971. And we have just been in a Ponzi scheme free float of the fiat dollar since then, printing money out of thin air, not backed by anything. And that gig is about up. They pegged all the world's oil on the petrodollar, and everybody had to use that standard. Well, that is quickly changing. So we are moving to a digital gold standard. We keep hearing about tokenizations, we keep hearing about blockchain, we keep hearing about the cryptocurrencies. Basically, we've been in a digital system for a while. You do banking, you do wire transfers, you can use Venmo. That's digital. That's not using cash in your hand. So they're going to be moving more to a digital age. We'll still have paper currency, but the digital will be on a blockchain, which is transparent. It's done in real time. They can track where all that money's gone, and it's merging assets. It's all asset backed. So the cryptocurrencies, where I've talked about XRP, XRP is the cross border that they're using. Ripple are the rails, XRP is the cross border. Institutional, it's the wholesale. XLM is the retail. It powers people and the retail. They're all ISO compliant, and the big word is being compliant. That's why XRP was put under such scrutiny for so long, because it's not a security. That's a big deal that they won those court cases. So that's the financial picture in a nutshell. Now, there is one final piece of the ISO coming on, which looks like it's going to complete, and I believe that's November 22nd. That will actually be the last puzzle piece. Now, how does that play into the RV? So the RV is a level playing field of the world's currencies. So no longer are we going to have countries that are suppressed and held down and not able to be playing in the field, in the arena with all the other superpower countries. Everybody's going to be on a level playing field. So the currencies that are completely undervalued are going to be revalued back to what they should have been prior to war. And I'm just going to pick Iraqi dinar and the Vietnamese dong. Those are extremely undervalued, and they need to revalue to their actual current price pre-war. So we're looking for that to happen. And how and when is always the big question. Like, when is it happening? Well, what I can tell you about that is there is a lot of movement to get that done. I was told, they expected it to have happened last week, which it didn't. So things are being done. Why it got held up, I don't know. They will not say that, but a lot of people out there keep hearing, oh, it's happening, and they put that out there. Well, to me, that's doing a disservice to the people that hang on that from intel providers, because I hear it, but I won't report that, because until I actually know it's happened, putting out that we hear it's going to happen does no good to anybody. So I am always very cautious with stating when. All I can say is things are done. It's just a matter of having it release. And that has not happened yet. So as far as the protocols and procedures, from what I still am being told, you will be getting an email if you have signed up for any of these groups. In the email, it will tell you what to do within the body of that email. You will make your appointment and go in and do your exchange. The rest of that, as far as the QFS and setting up accounts and all of that, is done at your appointment. So there's a lot of people out there right now that are scammers that are telling people you need to set up your QFS account now. They're having you send them cryptocurrency to do that. Those are scammers. Please, please, please do not sign up for any of those things. Do you have any questions for me, Brent?
I know there was a public announcement from the Vietnamese government. Do you know anything about the relevance of that to the RV?
I saw that. I don't remember exactly what that was, but I did see some post about Vietnam had done something. All I can say is the relevance towards the RV is it's just one more piece of the puzzle coming into play that needed to happen. Now, again, there are things that happen that we don't know even needed to happen. And that's what's very confusing, because we don't know what we don't know. We only know what we're being told, and then something happens and it's like, oh, well, now I understand why that had to happen. That obviously was a piece of the puzzle that needed to happen. Now, another thing that's just happened is Iraq came out with their lower denom, 50 lower denom. So that's their new currency. So that's another big deal. I know that I read something and I saw today that it was confirmed that Iraq is not going to have their elections. A lot of people are saying, well, why would that happen? Why would they not have their elections? And how can we tell them to stop them? Well, I know Iraq is all about being stable and secure. So if they go hold an election and they get al-Sudani out of power, they have to start all over, and the person that comes in may not be on board with this, and it will just slow them down. So they are so close to being ready to release this that they want their elections held up so that this can get done. So to me, that's a really good sign of how close we are.
Can you shed any kind of light on the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement? We've all heard that the non-disclosure agreement is going to be a requirement for those wishing to participate in the RV. We've heard all kinds of tales about how long it will be, what will be in it, will it allow exclusions or not? Can you shed any light on that?
Yes. So what I am told, if you just go to a regular retail bank and you have currency, Vietnamese dong, Iraqi dinar, you don't have to sign an NDA. You'll just do your exchange there. But if you are signed up in groups and you go to a redemption center or quote unquote an exchange center, because some people say there's no exchange centers, there's only redemption centers and vice versa. To me, it's just, a matter of words, it's semantics. But if you go to those, then you will be required to sign an NDA. Every different group has their own protocols that they put in there. So I don't know what it'll be in each one, but it's nothing that's going to be too concerning. Really, just don't talk about this. Don't say what you got.
A lot of people seem to be concerned that they're going to try and take my money from me because I will have done something wrong and I didn't know that I was doing something wrong. As if the object is to use the NDA to find ways to deprive you of the blessings provided by the RV. Can you comment on that at all?
Well, let's break that down. You know how many people globally are involved in this. I mean, probably at this point, 20 million people globally know about it. And to go and try to monitor everybody, it would be a difficult task. The NDA is basically, an honor system. You're signing it, honor what's in it, and just do the right thing. Live by whatever you sign. And that's really the world we're moving back to. A handshake used to mean a lot back in the day. Your word and a handshake sealed a deal. No longer is that the case today. That doesn't even hold up anymore. We're moving back to living in honor and integrity, and your word means something. So if you sign something, whatever's in there, honor it.
It sounds like you are saying that these people at the meetings are not there to try and undermine you. They're there to try and complete the process so that you can participate in this so that everybody benefits.
People that are in different groups have different rates and different rate structures and different programs offered to them. They don't want people going through this process and then running around, oh my God, I got $20 per dinar. Well, I only got $10. Oh my God, I'm going to go and complain and go to the treasury and cause a fit because I didn't get what Brent got. Mm-hmm. It's just to eliminate all of that, because whatever group you're in, they have different contractual rates that they have set up a long time ago. So it's just honoring the group you're in.
What about the time frame? There's been a lot of talk, 90 days, maybe 120 days. Some people have said, should I become a hermit for that long and then come out of the woodwork when that's all done?
Again, it's based on each group. I know people that are in bond groups have a 5-year NDA. Those that are just in the RV side, it should be maybe a 90-day to a 6-month NDA. They want to get people through and just not be going around talking about this, because we're moving into a whole nother world of transparency. But there's a whole bunch of people in the world that don't even know that this is going on. And it's to eliminate also those people becoming upset that they didn't know there was something that they could partake in, and then find out that this went on and they're all left in the dust. As far as how long it is, you don't have to be a hermit, but just don't be braggadocious. Don't go out and launch your new wealth and buy Ferraris and just make yourself a target.
One other thing about the NDAs, there has been talk about what is being called exclusions. Give us 5 names, and these are people you can talk to about all this stuff that won't violate the NDA. Now, my own view is it seems like an unwise thing to create an NDA, and then you said 20 million people. If everybody gets 5 exclusions, that's 100 million people who basically know about this, who may or may not be directly involved in it. That seems like a sad way to keep something secret. Have you heard anything about whether there will be exclusions? I generally tell people I would assume not. What are your thoughts?
So regarding exclusions, that had been going around for years, and there's a lot of stuff that goes around for years just to keep everybody on their toes of some new thing that they have to worry about. It's like, focus on this while we're over here doing that. Even with the humanitarian projects, that was a whole nother big thing. As far as exclusions, that has not been brought up in my circles in a very, very, very long time. So I really don't even know if that is viable.
Let's go on to the EAS-EBS. Have you any
Yes.
insights into that?
This is my personal opinion on that. I believe we will have the revaluation and the GCR first, and the EAS will come out after when they do disclosure. And disclosure, again, is still going to be aired on TV, and it's going to educate the public on what really had taken place globally and all these bad government CEOs, companies, all these bad people. It will become on TV what they have done and who they are. And that, to me, is when the EAS will come out.
It's been spoken about as being like an 8-hour presentation 3 times a day for 10 days so that everybody gets exposed to it.
Yeah, I still have heard that. That has not changed at all.
Let us touch on humanitarian projects. Now, we have heard this going on and off for years. You have to have a humanitarian project. You don't have to have a humanitarian project. If you have a humanitarian project, you're going to have a second meeting and they're going to renegotiate with you as to the rates you get based on your project. No, they're not going to do that because they don't have the time to do that. Can you unravel discussions about humanitarian projects?
What I have been told, they want you to do them, but there's no way they can call everybody back in for a second appointment. They want to get you in and out as fast as possible. And if they call everybody out for another appointment, it makes no sense whatsoever. As far as the humanitarian projects, it's encouraged. You do not have to have them in order to go and do your exchange at all, but it is encouraged that you want to do something, that you're not just going to take this money and become the next Kardashians.
That's what I've been understanding of late, which is you don't need a humanitarian project, but they want you to use at least some of your money to help people. That's what this is all about.
Right.
Is that a fair statement?
Yes, exactly.
On that point, you had set up an organization, I think you set it up, or you're at least involved with it, newearthfoundations.org. Is that still going to be there to help people?
Yes. I have not done anything with it because to go and build that website and how intricate that website is, it will cost me thousands of dollars a month to have that website up and running, which I don't have. It is costly doing that, and until there's RV funds, it will not be built and put out there. But once it's built, anybody that's signed up, they will then be notified that it's up and running.
From what I understand, one of the things that New Earth Foundations is going to do is you have a project, you want to help veterans get housing. Somebody else has a project who wants to help veterans get housing. You're kind of going to put them together so that they can combine their resources and their efforts.
Yeah, so everybody's not building the same project from the ground up, which to me is just a waste of everybody's time, energy, resources, money. everybody can collaborate together, and there'll be the 12 main groups that Trump has talked about that people want to go and do. And whatever one you're called to that you feel you really want to participate in, you can be part of that network within the whole structure of the website. And there'll be a CFO for that project and how to go and start doing it from the ground up. So I have somebody that does government projects, and they will give me their blueprints, how they have done projects from the ground up, and we'll be able to do that and duplicate that for, say, energy or health or education or whatever it is. And people then can get involved in what they feel they really want to focus their time and energies on.
Now, you just said something I had not heard ever. Trump's 12 project ideas.
Oh, yeah. That's been out there for a long time.
Where do we find that info on that?
I'll have to find the post and I can send it to you.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. There has been talk about the mechanics of setting up accounts. Originally, it's talking about quantum financial system master accounts. Then there was some talk about quantum financial system master accounts and then setting up a separate operating account from which you would actually make purchases, not out of the QFS account, but out of the operating account. Have there been any developments along these lines as to how it will actually come out?
What I was told is they will not release any details on the QFS at all until your appointment, because they don't want to tip their hat to any bad actors still running amok out there. So when this happens and you are at your appointment, then you will be educated on the QFS, have your accounts opened, and they will explain it and go over that at your appointment, not before.
It's never been clear whether these operating accounts would actually be regular bank accounts as opposed to QFS accounts. Can you shed any light on that, assuming they do that?
I am told we will get QFS accounts. How that's all linked to your bank account and how you can transfer funds from the QFS to your bank will be explained at your appointment.
What we're going to go through has never happened before. Because of that, we don't necessarily know what bugs might be in the system. And because of that, I have suggested to people that if you have different currencies, get a QFS account for each currency. That way, if there is a problem, let's say something happens with the dong and it causes a temporary glitch. Well, they may freeze your dong, but they won't freeze anything else because it's not in the same account. It made sense to me and still makes sense to me. Do you have any insight as to whether they're going to set up multiple master accounts if they're requested, or whether or not it's just going to be the one account?
Again, there was talk early on that each currency will be in its own account, but last couple of years, they haven't talked about that, whether it will be in separate accounts or all in one account or how that's going to work. So all I am told is until you're there, then they will explain everything. I'm going to stop there because I still have another 20 minutes and I will play the second half next week. So that kind of gives you an overview of where we're at with everything. And, we will just watch this whole event unfold before our eyes. So I have in the link below, my admin has chakra coffee. If anybody would like to purchase it, it is gives you energy, revitalizes you. It helps your immune system. So it's not just regular coffee. So check it out in the link below. And I will be back next week and complete part 2 of my interview with Brent Johnson. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.